Thank you so very much, all of you, for joining, and a special thank you to Anne Diamond for organizing this call. It's been a few years that World Wellness Weekend has actively supported Wellness Tourism Association, and we're so happy that Anne decided to send out this invitation so that with less than 50 days before the 7th annual edition of World Wellness Weekend, you are here to see if you want, participate in this year's edition. There's still plenty of time, or if this is something you want to plan for next year and maybe just plant a few seeds this year. There are many things that can be done, from very simple to start taking action and make World Wellness Weekend an event that you can participate year after year, like the professionals that we have on the call today, and that will be sharing their experiences. But also, some of them are doing things not just simple, but spectacular, because this is how World Wellness Weekend has grown so significantly from inception in 2017, when the United Nations launched their 17 Sustainable Development Goals program. The United Nations in 2017 launched an agenda for 2030 with big goals, big projects to make this planet more sustainable, more equitable, and the third objective, I will not bore you with the details of the 17, you can definitely look them up, and most likely some of you are already implementing them in your cities or with your destinations. But the third one really caught my attention: good health and well-being for all. Good health and well-being for all, not just through vaccination, not just through hygiene, good health, physical, mental, social, that we can participate in. This is how I had my big aha moment after serving this industry for 20 years as a consultant, as an educator for cosmetic brands, for hotel groups. I thought, whatever I'm trying to do in all of these properties to elevate the guest experience by elevating the skills of the team and elevating the motivation, the engagement of the team, we could do globally. We could do globally by getting the teams excited to present must-try experiences, signature experiences, activities, and at least encouraging each of these venues around the world to offer one activity. That's the minimum requirement, one fun, free activity, hopefully as inclusive as possible, so that a fitness class can be organized on a waterfront or with a spectacular backdrop behind in an iconic place of that city or that property. Maybe a yoga session, maybe a mindfulness session can be organized. And little by little, just with this one activity requirement, one member of the team giving for 1 hour a class that is different, that is original, that is catching the attention of the public, and especially catching the attention of the media. This is how, from 2017, with 160 venues in just 2 countries, France and Belgium, because I'm French living in Belgium, we grew last year, fast forward to 2022, to 5,000 venues in 139 countries. Last year, we had an audience of 20 million people through 2,000 mentions in the media, and that's TV, radio, print, online publications, but also 7,000 posts on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, with venues posting before the event, this is what we're going to do. Stay tuned for more. Book your seat in advance. Tell us if you're coming with friends and family. Creating traction before, teasing the audience during World Wellness Weekend. We're there, it's going full blast. Join, it's not too late. We have more activities for you. And also posting after the activity, because what happens on the internet stays on the internet. It's really about showing what happened and saying wellness does not stop. Wellness continues with in Vietnam, in Marbella, in Bali, and maybe very soon in Palm Springs, in Mineral Wells, in the Monastère des Augustines in Quebec, and so many other places, because this call is recorded and is going to be shared with all the members of the Wellness Tourism Association. As of now, I can tell you that the statistics are continuing to grow. We grow consistently, touch wood. We continue to grow. We grew through COVID because we were creating a platform, an online platform where professionals could participate from sunrise in Fiji to sunset in Hawaii, covering all of the time zones. And we're going to hear some of those stories, and I'm going to introduce the speakers. So right now we have 6,469 venues precisely. I could say, soon 7,000, soon. Each venue matters because each venue in their city can be a wellness champion. Earlier on, I mentioned just organizing one activity, and with one activity, the venue can download the badge of an official participant of World Wellness Week in 2023. But when venues organize 3 activities, just 3, maybe one on Friday, one on Saturday, and one on Sunday, or maybe 3 on the same day because it's convenient, they can download or they can receive, if I should say, a badge of being a wellness champion of 2023, going over and beyond. We have activities presented and offered in over 2,153 cities as of today. And cities keep coming, not cities saying the city of Marbella or the city of Mineral Wells or the city of Greater Palm Springs is one of those cities. Sometimes they are, and Marbella is by far the most active city with so far 79 venues participating in a 10-kilometer radius. But when on the map you extend that radius to 50 kilometers, you have close to 200 venues organizing 600 activities. There are 600 possible free and fun activities that people can enjoy during that weekend. And we're going to hear from Laura very, very soon. We are present in 147 countries, and we have hoped to reach 150 in 50 days for the World Wellness Weekend. Just to give you very quickly some recent news. In the past few years, we have been supported by 3 ministers of tourism in Cyprus, in Ireland, and in France. We have been supported by the ministers of health of 2 provinces in Canada, Quebec and Manitoba. The Tourism Board of Malaysia also supported, and last week, the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority sent us a letter of support for World Wellness Weekend in September, but also making it known that their big moment is in January, when they celebrate in Antigua and Barbuda their wellness month, when people can travel, when it's high season for them. So it's not just about participating on that weekend of September, just before the equinox and just after the harvest moon. These are moments that we chose to be significant in the year before the equinox, because equinox is one of those 2 times in the year when daytime and nighttime are roughly the same, which is a good symbol for work-life balance, work-life harmony. So it's not just about participating on those 3 days, and this year it's September 15, 16, and 17. It's also about reminding people that wellness never stops in your cities and that there will be more activities. And I mentioned, and I'm going to stop after that and introduce the speakers, I spoke about organizing just a minimum requirement of 1 fun-free activity in each venue. That's the minimum requirement. Wellness for all, not wellness for all who can pay, wellness for all. Maybe the staff, maybe the locals, maybe retired people, maybe women in a shelter for battered women, maybe associations, charities. We have lots of NGOs participating. Not just 1 activity, but hopefully 3 to receive a badge of a wellness champion, and then to offer as many irresistible offers as you want, to organize as many bounce back offers, as you want, so that people can come for free activity and extend their stay with a hotel room for 1 or 2 nights, with half board, full board, with other activities, maybe at the spa, the fitness club, or so many things. It's not just about giving freebies, because this is not World Wellness Freebie Day. It's World Wellness Weekend. Yes, we offer for people. Yes, we're generous. Yes, we want to show that professionals in wellness, fitness, hospitality, and tourism are part of the solution for encouraging people to be more active more often. Yes, we want to show that we are part of the solution against inactivity, obesity, anxiety, loneliness. Yes, we want to create connection, because together, wellness is togetherness. So there's a lot that you can do to prolong the high season with irresistible offers. There's a lot you can do to attract active travelers with friends and families. There's a lot you can do to make visitors feel like temporary locals. This is a beautiful phrase that was mentioned a few years ago. And this is so important for visitors not to feel like tourists, but to feel like temporary locals. Engage local residents also of all generations with activities, and showcase your must-try activities. Without further ado, and with this as short as possible introduction as I can, and some of you know that I can make a short introduction super long. This is my introduction. I would like to introduce, in speaking order, Laura de Arce. She is the Director of Tourism Office for the city of Marbella, and she will present the massive preparations of this year and why the city decided to go all in to attract more visitors on this time. Then we will hear from Hylton Lipkin, who is the ambassador of World Wellness Weekend in Vietnam, the country ambassador. He used to be the ambassador of Alba Wellness Valley, award-winning Alba Wellness Valley by a group in Vietnam called Fusion, but he is now the general manager at Garrya, Cang and Homm for the Banyan Tree Group. Then we will hear from John Nielsen, who is the general manager at award-winning Fivelements, part of the Evolution Wellness Group in Asia, which is also participating in the World Wellness Weekend with 170 plus fitness clubs from Fitness First and Celebrity Fitness, and also connecting with the Ubud Hotel Association and the Bali Tourism Office. So we'll hear from John. And last but not least, we will hear from Nyoman Yastama. And sorry, I forgot to mention that John is also a board member of the Wellness Tourism Association. And then last but not least, we will hear from Nyoman Yastama, recipient of the Wellness Tourism Association Leading Light Award a couple of years ago, current wellness director of the Alba Wellness Valley by Fusion, which is a Wellness Tourism Association member. And without further ado, it's all about being short, straight to the point, giving facts, numbers, if you can, of why you joined, why you would encourage the properties, the cities connecting today on why they should care also to participate on September 15, 16, and 17 of 2023. Laura, it's not about ladies first, it's about Marbella first.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much to Yang for giving me the opportunity to talk today to you today. And also I have to thanks in big letter to Lucia and to Sandra, because I think that without them we were not able to do anything that we had made last year or what we are trying to do this year as well. Well, I have to say that Lucia has been in contact with me for the last 5 years, something like that. She's very, very, very enthusiastic, you know it. And every time she came to my office, it's like something something special is coming, and suddenly you have more power, you have more, you are more happy, and all this. That's why I try to get the meeting with her on Monday. You know that Monday is not so easy day. So every time she arrives at 10, something has changed in the office. So I mean, it's very easy for us to cooperate with them, with both of them. And she came last year to talk about the World Wellness Weekend. For us was the first time I heard that something like this, a movement like this was created in 5 years. You said 5 years ago?
Yes, we are celebrating our seventh
Uh,
event. Seventh. We
five,
started in 2017.
5 years ago. And she told me the possibility. I mean, she asked me the possibility of being one partner on this venue. I mean, on this event. And for me, it was very easy to say yes, of course, because everybody was trying to. I mean, first of all, because I think that this is an event. It's a very wide event. I have received today a telephone call from Almuñécar, Sandra. I mean, the sport council has called me today. Yes, please tell me what is that and what shall we do. This is important. It's not so. And what I have told him this morning is a very wide news. I mean, we of course we try to have news every day. Sometimes we have good news. Sometimes, I mean, I'm talking about television. We can have accidents, or we have sometimes a fighter or whatever. And also we have, as Marbella, as very well known all around the world, we also have good news. But it's a pity that a city same as the one we have, TV programs prefer to talk about the bad things that sometimes happens here, not very often, but today there were arrested 2 policies in Marbella, and all the news has not opened, but the 4th news they have say is that in Marbella 2 policies has been arrested. Blah, 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 blah. That's because Marbella always sell. And it's for them, we are talking about August, with that there are not big things, big news, and suddenly Marbella sell, and they can talk about that 2 policeman has been arrested. So I think an event like the one you have for us is a very, very wide event. So for us, it's very, very important that people talk also about this kind of thing that in Marbella is happening. Of course, we have many, many, many things all around the year. We have many congresses. We have Starlight, which is very well known all around the world. But I think that something related with wellness, with well-being, and so is very, very, very important, because I think that we need to change the world with this kind of events. And if we try to promote this kind of events, we can have a nicer world. I think this is the best.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Laura. It is true that World Wellness Weekend, as a pro bono event, is really focusing on promoting good news. It's really a feel-good event that is also creating a new or a positive narrative for the cities participating. In other cities, I've heard that, the people usually complain about the sanitation system with picking up the garbages, and sometimes we have strikes and there's garbage on the street, like we have seen in Paris, and this is all that the media talk about. This is giving a new narrative, something positive throughout generations. Can you tell us, Laura, for a couple of minutes about the key activities that will be taking place in Marbella, and then we will hear from Hylton in Vietnam?
Well, I think that we have most of all of them, Sandra. I mean, yes, because also I have been I think that I have been the key for Sandra and Lucia to be in contact with all the departments. So now my mobile and the one of Lucia, I think, is more or less same. Take this contact, call these people, call these people, call these people. So at the end, all the know-how, I'm talking about all the single departments. They had a meeting with Lucia and with Sandra, and all of them say yes. So every single department, I'm talking about totally different things. They are connected. Now, of course, the sports department is connected, but also the ones who take care of the old people is connected. Also, the gardens department is connected. I don't know, many other.
Education is connected. Primary schools are going to participate in World Women's Weekend this year. All primary school in Marbella, which is big news. Sorry, Laura.
Two quick examples that I also wanted to mention, Laura, because we speak about World Wellness Weekend now, 50 days before, but I remember that in January, there was a big show called Fitur,
yes,
about tourism, and the city of Marbella had a big booth to attract tourism, tour operators, travel agents, to talk about Marbella as a destination. And I remember that at that time, Lucia, who is the country ambassador for Spain, and Sandra were there with you to talk about Marbella as a destination for wellness, creating activities, creating massages on the booth. And you were also on TV, on national TV, and also on regional TV for interviews.
That's right. Yes, because I mean, last year we won the most activity city in Europe.
Yes.
So we, until Fitur, until January, that this is the most important travel fair in tourism travel fair in Spain. And Lucia gave our mayor gave the prize, being the most
active city
in Europe, and this is
and
very
in the world. And in the world, because yes, of course, Europe, but there's no other city as active as Marbella for now. And I can tell you, with the efforts of Lucia and Sandra, and then we'll give the mic to Hylton in a quick second, and then to John, because it's close to midnight in Bali. I can tell you that the statistics as of today, and they change quite quickly, especially in August, with many venues signing up in August, and until the 31st of August, there are 782 venues participating in Brazil, which is the most active country for the past 3 or 4 years. And there's just 50 venue difference between Brazil and Spain. As of now, there are 732 venues in Spain right now. And then Italy, 696. So countries are really active, cities really active, regions really active. Is there one last word that you would like to ask, Laura? And then there will be Q&A, questions and answers at the end of the session, so that maybe some of the participants will want to ask you questions.
Sure. Last
word before we pass on to Hylton?
No, the only thing that say that it's a very, very nice prize when you receive something like this, because being an active city is also you have to feel very proud of it. So I think it's very, very, I mean, we also sometimes we are the most excellent destination in Europe and so on, so on, so. But when we talk about active people, you are also talking about brain, you know. It's not only the way of we sell, with the way of people buying things, in experiences in Marbella, but it's also is a way of thinking, no? It's a way of life. So I think this is the most important thing.
Thank you, Laura. Before I pass on the mic to Hylton, I would just like to add that these awards, and I'm speaking to Rose in Mineral Wells and everyone listening in the city, also talking to Joyce in Greater Palm Springs and other WTA members listening to this recording. There will be awards for the most active cities around the world. So there's a chance that there is a most active cities in the US, and it could be one of you, depending on how many activities are organized, how original they are, how you're connecting and communicating with the media. It's not about communicating about me, the founder. No, it's not just about communicating about World Wellness Weekend so that you would promote an event and not yourself. It's about talking about an event that is starting at sunset in Fiji and finishing in sunset in Hawaii, and then talking about you, your city, the champions in your cities, the professionals in your cities, the dynamic of your cities. So it's talking about you and promoting yourselves. These awards are not for sale. You will not pay for these awards. I know some award schemes are to say, Marbella, you have won by far, and we are happy to send you this award. It's only 500 euros for you to receive it by special mail and a lot of bubbles around it so that it doesn't break. It's not the case with us. We are supported by sponsors. It's all about wellness for all and wellness for free. So it's about sending these awards to those who really deserve them. So maybe in the US, we'll see a most active city in the US. Maybe we'll see most active cities around the world. And for sure, now we're turning to Vietnam, where it's 11 p.m. Hylton, please tell us about the story and the success story of World Wellness Weekend in Vietnam with fusion with Alba Wellness Valley, now continuing with Banyan Tree, what you've seen and how you got to be in touch with the Hue tourism authorities.
Sure. You can hear me, everybody?
Yeah? Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. So xin chào, everybody from Vietnam, in the north of Vietnam. Yeah, it's fantastic to be here and great to address all of you and tell you a little bit about why you should join our family. First and foremost, I think the most amazing thing about World Wellness Weekend is a group of 150 countries of like-minded people. So a lot of us are very passionate and we love what we do and we love wellness, but the main thing that struck me the most in the beginning was that this is 150 countries of people that think the same way, people that are motivated by wellness, people who want to help people who want to promote their businesses through wellness and just making the world a better place. As John Guy mentioned in the beginning, SDG 3, and that's pretty much what we all believe in, we breathe in. We just want to make the world a better place and a happier place. And we do that through wellness activities and making people happy. So, I mean, it should be a no-brainer for everybody because everybody wants wellness in their life. And all we're doing is just inviting everyone to have what we like to call the biggest wellness event on the planet. As John Guy has mentioned a couple of times, we like to say wellness for all and wellness by all. For me personally, 3 years ago, I was the general manager of Alba Wellness Valley in central Vietnam. And we came across World Wellness Weekend. Actually, Nyoman, who is the coordinator, who will speak at the end, came across this and he said to me, there's this thing, we should join and do some activities. And I'm like, yeah, sure, anything we can do. Well, a small little event that we organized 3 years ago really blew up. It actually turned our world around. Personally, for me, it introduced me to so many people internationally in the wellness industry, like Jean Guy, and connected with different people, and we've become personal friends. We've shared our best practices. We've found people for different jobs. It's really been a phenomenal network because, like I mentioned, we're all just basically into the same thing. And from a business perspective, Alba Wellness Valley just kind of went from this wellness retreat resort in central Vietnam to a global retreat because Nyoman and myself were so involved with World Wellness Weekend and promoting it so much. We got to meet so many people within Vietnam, and people were like, well, what's it all about? Who are you? What are you? And then suddenly everyone who spoke about wellness or World Wellness Weekend in Vietnam spoke about Alba Wellness Valley, spoke about myself, and spoke about Nyoman. So we kind of became famous. It wasn't our objective. we just want the world to be happy and everyone to do wellness. But somehow everyone just suddenly hooked onto us and said, well, tell us more, tell us more, tell us more. And when you hear people like Laura and Sandra speaking, you can feel the passion, and it's just about making people happy. So that is just, for me, like I mentioned, a no-brainer, and it just really makes it a lot more fun. Getting to the point where Jean-Guy asked me about the Minister of Tourism for the area where we were. So in central Vietnam, the city we were in was called, well, where I was in, Nyoman is still there, is called Hue. And the Minister of Tourism, at the time, he was the Assistant Director of Tourism. Now he's the President of the Tourism Association, the government in central Vietnam. He got super excited, and he was running around doing welfies and sending them to me and running races. And the city got onto this idea of creating pillars to draw more people and more tourism to the city. And I happened to have a conversation, and I was invited by him to talk to some of the people. And I'm very passionate about what I like to call environmental wellness, and obviously physical wellness and mental wellness. And I stood up and I said, you know, we have the perfect destination. We have mountains, we have rivers, we have resorts, we have the beauty. So why can't we make well-being or wellness into a pillar within the community, within the tourism strategy of the city? And they embraced it. They jumped on the idea and actually started promoting it all over the show. COVID came in, unfortunately, and it took a sidestep, but we're not giving up, and the minister is still very, very much involved. He does owe us a letter, Jean-Guy, which we could add to the list, because you're talking about Canada, you're talking about France, but what about Vietnam? So there is a letter coming from the Minister of Tourism, hopefully very soon. So he will endorse us as well, because it's a very big part of the tourism sector all over the world. We all know that. And everyone wants to have wellness on their map, on their menu. So again, it's an easy opportunity to say, well, we part of World Wellness Weekend, we support wellness, we do wellness in our property, and then suddenly people will recognize you. So for me, it's really simple. It's just about being involved in one of the biggest global events, the biggest global wellness event, showcasing ourselves and our ideas and all the people around us. And the last thing, because I think I'm within my 5 minutes here, the last thing is that we talk about America, and yes, I know this is a big American market, and we'd love to have you on board. And we do talk about Europe, and yes, they're doing phenomenally well, even though we hate Marbella because they're really leaving us behind. Before, it was definitely Brazil, but watch out, because Asia is coming your way, and Asia will soon be all those little blue flags all over the world, because it's very important to us. And you know, making this happen around the world and making us have a lot of fun doing it at the same time is what it's all about. So, I mean, I salute you, Jean-Guy, and obviously my fellow colleagues and ambassadors from all over the world. And I hope that all you guys listening today will join us and be a part of this fantastic initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. You can all hear from the passion with Hylton, who, by the way, was one of the speakers at a conference that I'm organizing in London, the World Spa and Wellness Convention in London, one of the large events yearly. There's passion in his voice, there's passion in Laura's voice, in Sandra's voice, in all of the participants, and soon in John's voice, although it is way past bedtime, it's way past midnight for him. But just a couple of things on what Hylton said. The international language of wellness is when we smile. And yes, it is a feel-good moment. It is a feel-good event. And a lot of people smile, no matter what the language, no matter what the culture. When the body is flush with endorphins, with oxytocin, with serotonin after a good exercise, a good yoga session, a good fitness session, they are filled with those pleasure hormones. We smile, and we all smile in the same language, which is the sign of language. But Hylton showed you a sign called the wealthy. And if I can explain it for just a quick second, it comes from Winston Churchill, who said, never, never, never give up. Victory is coming our way. Everyone remembers Winston Churchill with the victory. And with this, we thought of a victory of the mind, because your mind never gives up, and a victory of the body. Wellness can come when the mind and the body are connected. Two victories for not giving up, and this is the sign for wellness. Not this way, because this in certain countries means something. And Winston Churchill, when he first did the victory, did this. And his secretary said, Mr. Prime Minister, you don't do this to people. It's not proper. You do this. And from then on, we all remember this photo from Winston Churchill. But there is also this one. So we don't do this message, especially do this, which would be a double meaning. Excuse me for my foul sign language. This is what we do with the victory of the mind, the victory of the body, or a peace sign, if you wish, peace in the world, peace, inner peace, and to have this wellness. Lots of activities that Hylton and Nyoman organize, and we'll hear from Nyoman in a few minutes. Lots of course, physical activities, fitness in water, because we're talking to mineral wells also as a city. And Alba Wellness Valley is definitely a mineral hot springs where people come and do activities. They meditate in the water, they exercise in the water. So there's a lot that is done. There's a lot of environmental wellness. You organize, Hylton, with planting, with plugging, picking up trash and walking. And also there's a lot that you will do, and we'll hear from Nyoman about this, welcoming 200 children from the nearby community, because it's not just about vitality and serenity. And by the way, about serenity, I've heard today that Ukraine will participate with activities in Kharkiv, in Kyiv, in Odessa, which is bombed as we speak, and in Lviv also. So even in times of war, in times of distress, people are not giving up, and they're building on resiliency, and they want to show this to the rest of the world. So there's a lot happening. We don't want to be political in any way. It's just showing that no matter what the circumstances, and sometimes some venues can say, oh, you know, it's complicated right now. Really as complicated as Ukraine? No, not as complicated as Ukraine, because they're participating. Oh, are they? Yes, they are. Okay. And Burkina Faso also, with war happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo, complicated. So in some countries, but let's fly now to Bali. Let's fly now close to Ubud, and let's hear from John Nielsen, General Manager of Fivelements Retreat and also board member of the Wellness Tourism Association. John, the mic is yours.
So good morning or good afternoon or good evening or wherever we are in the world, someplace. Jean-Guy, can you share the screen, please? So I can.
Of course, I'm going to share it.
A couple of slides together.
Oh, nice.
I thought I'd do that. So
activated.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So good. Wherever you are, hello. My name is John Nielsen, and I'm a bit like Hylton. For me, it's been a bit of a journey to be part of this organization, and I originally joined back in 2020, I think, or 2019, and I kind of was finding my feet in the wellness world and figuring out what it was all about, and came across the World Wellness Weekend, and I really started using the World Wellness Weekend to really create a thread, or to really create a base around the island and around the business. And for me, the most important thing was actually giving staff and giving people. And when I went and spoke to, and this is just a few images of where I am, but so we, like Hylton talks about, we look at wellness being inside and outside. And so for us, it's very much about the environment. So everything we do is kind of connected in one sense or another to wellness for the land, for the people. Even so much that 0.5% of our revenues go to CSR activities, following what we call as Nyoman knows extremely well, who's Balinese, the Trihita Karana concept of being good to God and human and mankind and nature. So we kind of follow that all together, and that's where wellness kind of comes into it. So we really took the point of saying the World Wellness Weekend is a pillar for us, and once you start using that and you creating external or internal events that are linked to World Wellness Weekend, then it'll drive a lot of your marketing, a lot of your sales. It drives your branding, your support of these various wellness activities. And it can slowly build your PR and social media around your involvement. And I think the most important thing is we have 3 to 4 events every year that we do just in where I am. But around Bali, we connected with, as Jean-Guy said, the Ubud Hotel Association and the Bali Hotel Association, the Bali Spa Association. So we kind of started connecting, and then that leads to other people connecting to you. And even though, as I always say to people, it's a very simple concept. It's all about creating just smaller events here and there, and they organically will just grow. So as Jean-Guy said, through our main business, our fitness business around Asia, where we have now 140, 150 businesses that are partaking. I went to one of the main characters and said, I don't know why it's so complicated, why people can't just join. And he looked at me and he said, I'm not sure why it's so complicated. So it was kind of one of these things that once everybody understood it, it was so simple. And it helps the clubs, or it helps the retreats, or it helps other people grow their own business. So it's a good way of keeping and getting everybody else involved. So once you start using that, and this is a picture from an event we did back in March this year, and we called it the Art of a Balanced Lifestyle. But the key thing was that we had an orphanage from northern Bali in Arce involved in the event, and they are orphans who are in a children's home, and they basically lead a complete vegetarian lifestyle. So they grow their own food. They basically do everything that helps them be healthy, and they do yoga every single morning. And they came and they did an aerobatics yoga show for us. But really what it does, and that creates a media effect, that creates ultimately people talking about what you're doing. And I think that's, for us, is the most important aspect of what we do in the property. But more importantly, it keeps substantiating. And as Hylton talked about, it keeps telling ministers. And when we did presentation to the tourism ministry, they sat there in amazement that they were not part of this sort of thing, and just said, how do we become part of this? So it's really about just extending your reach, and just extending of where you are, and just constantly trying to say, we're here to make this an event, and we're here to really create, a point of difference. And what you can do with World Wellness Weekend is simply be connected to this huge community. And the more you're connected to that huge community, the more people will jump on the bandwagon. And today we are connected with people all around the world, and it just confirms, why we're part of this train and this amazing, movement that's around the world. And when I tell to people, I say to them, why are you not part of it? And everybody looks at you like, oh, well, I don't know why. But then they become part of it, and that just grows. And I think every place I go to around the world, and I talk to people and I say, oh, you should do this, and then people sort of say, oh, that's quite easy. And I mean, Jean-Guy, today when I was doing some judging for the awards on one of the websites from Anantara, I believe it was in Marrakesh or someplace, they had the World Wellness Weekend logo sitting on the website. So it's the beauty of that, what you've created and what that movement is. It's just grown exponentially, and it's grown organically in many senses, that people have just jumped on it. And we see now with Marbella and what they've done as a city, it gives everybody an excuse to create an event. And if there's one thing people want to do, is when you have a business, is make something happen. Because guess what? That attracts people, and ultimately attracts. We run a retreat during that weekend. We run a number of events that are linked to it. And I think that's the most important thing, is make the World Wellness Weekend a red thread and a pillar in your business. And then automatically it gives staff a reason for what they're doing, and that gives staff a point of direction. And once you have that, then the rest kind of happens by itself. That's my for tonight, and it's wonderful being here, even though it is a bit late at night. I can tell you, I've got moon behind me, yes. But that's what we do for wellness, and that's what we all do.
Thank you, John. Just two things before I pass on the mic to Nyoman. I'll share one example of what you did last year, and I'll share one example of what you will do in about 50 days. Last year, John organized a yoga session and a fitness class in the morning of World Wellness Weekend, Wellness for All, opening the doors, so that it wasn't just about the guests for the retreat who had access to that. It's really anyone who wanted to come, the doors were open. And after these two activities where people were pumped with oxygen and endorphins and serotonin, there was the possibility, not compulsory, there was the possibility to donate some blood with the Red Cross. And to say, if you came in the morning with a blood type which is A+, for instance, there's a high chance that with all this oxygen pumping in your body now, and the state of those pleasure hormones that you have now would be a good time to donate a pint of your blood, because your blood could be symbolically A++. So for the first time ever, and this is a story that I always tell because it really touched my heart, John. It's not just about giving the gift of wellness for a property to say, we're offering a free yoga class, a free fitness class, come if you want to join, but it's also turning wellness into life and hope, because this blood can definitely help someone with a transfusion, or maybe someone with an accident. This is life. On that day, some people were not expecting to give blood, and this made a difference on a roadside. John?
And to support, thank you, Jean-Guy, for mentioning that example. And to support that, it's such a simple exercise that, you know, we should all be doing more of. I mean, I unfortunately am not allowed to do it because I was in the UK in the 90s when we had the PSC crisis. So I'm still a you know, persona non grata when it comes to donating blood. It's kind of so ridiculous. I mean, God, what, 40 years later or 30 years later, I'm still not allowed to do it. But I mean, it ultimately, you know, turned out to be a really good thing. And now we will do it this year again. And it's so simple, because you'll also find that the local place where you go and say to Red Cross, can you come and help us, or whoever your organization is, where they take blood, they will welcome you with open arms. So again, super low impact stuff that has a low hanging fruit that has huge impact on everybody.
And last example about you, this year you say you are organizing a retreat, and you are inviting a yoga master celebrity to organize classes.
Yep.
Is it still the case?
Yep.
This,
but we have
yoga
one
instructor.
Of the most, yes. So he's one of the big actors in Indonesia, and he's very famous. And when you mention his name, everybody goes, oh yes. So he's going to be our star attraction. I've given up. My yoga skills just weren't good enough, Hylton. So he's the star attraction. But I mean, again, that will then give, you know, another Indonesians will see him. He has X amount of, you know, million followers.
1.5 exactly.
Yeah,
1.5.
and so people will see him. So I mean, again, it's just a way of growing that whole sense, and it just confirms, you know, what you're doing, and you're doing it, and it will keep building in that sense.
So we'll hear from Nyoman in a second, back to Alba Wellness Valley. But you see, Joyce, Rachel, Rose, and Carol, and all of you listening from the recording of this call, it's about finding something simple where you can plant seeds in just a few weeks, in 6 weeks exactly, and then plan for something spectacular, or already think of local influencers who can not just be there and with their photo and take photos and post. Maybe you have local influencers or regional influencers who could come and host a session, an online session, so that people on the property can attend the class, the session, join in person, and maybe just with a phone connected to Facebook Live, Instagram Live, or just a recording that then you can place on YouTube. Then this session in Greater Palm Springs, in Mineral Wells, at Le Monastère des Augustines, or wherever you are, can be seen around the world. And it's about making noise to raise awareness about healthy lifestyles. It's also about making noise to raise awareness about your destinations. This is when we all collectively speak about wellness, and we take on the social media, we contact TVs, radios, print newspapers, online publications. This is when you have a great chance to say, this is not a promotional act. This is a pro bono event that we are supporting, and we are part of it, and we are the local champions. And by the way, it doesn't stop after World Wellness Weekend, it continues, so come and visit us anytime you want. Nyoman, from Ubud, Bali, Indonesia, to one of the most famous Indonesians in Vietnam. Nyoman, with your award with Wellness Tourism Association, please tell us about the story and the highlights of how World Wellness Weekend, something you heard of, became a project that you implemented, and how it's even growing today for the venue and for the team, because you are now using this to promote wellness as a culture at Alba Wellness Valley.
All right, thank you very much, Yonggi. And thank you very much, everyone. Good evening from Vietnam. I'm very excited to joining the World Wellness Weekend celebration in 2023, which is September 15, 16, and 17. Basically, during that day, we will doing the wellness activities from the sunrise until the sunset. And then we will invited like 200 plus local community people based on children as well as their parents, doing mostly our signature thing, which is water meditation, yoga, dance, and also the zip line and high wire, as well as the sums of meditation, like a sound healing, which is very therapeutic activities from the mindfulness, physical, and also emotional. And that's why that you should join with us and celebrating the wellness, because there are many impacts that's what we're doing in the past, from starting from joining the World Wellness Weekends. What happened in the 2019 Alba Wellness Valley, we started the first wellness activities, and then from that time onward, in 2020, finally, Mr. Hylton, our general manager, is joining as ambassador of Vietnam, and after that, he asked me to join as the coordinator of Vietnam. And then in 2020, we are finally on board at World Wellness Weekend in Vietnam. And then, which is 2020, it's not the lucky year, which is we have to do it everything online because of the pandemic. And then, but if that is not stopping us, actually, that one is become the pandemic is become even our wellness association become bigger in Vietnam, from the north until the south of Vietnam. And then from that, then everything we do online, from the morning until evening, which is very successful event, even though we're doing online, and so much guests was joining with us on that time. Then after that, what happened in 2021? Then suddenly that's we opening up for the we do the wellness activities program offline, not online anymore. And from that, I'm actually achieving the award from Wellness Tourism Association, which is Leading Light Award. And in the 2022, we organizing World Wellness Weekend is offline as well, which is more active and more people joining, and then more activities. And then even we growing up the people, local community, as well as the government to joining with us during that day. And then what's the impact of the Alba Wellness Valley joining the World Wellness Weekend? We actually getting so much award this year, which is starting from TripAdvisor Traveler Choice Award for our for the Alba Wellness Valley by Fusion. And we are also hot list of the year 2023 for category of Best Wellness Program by Travel Life Magazine. And then we also top three in the top 10 of spa in Vietnam from the Travel and Leisure Southeast Asia, Hong Kong and Macau. And as well as we are number 5 in the top 10 of upcountry hotels in Vietnam. And I believe the awards will be more and more because of we are joining the World Wellness Weekend. And thank you very much for John-Gi, and thank you very much for our former general manager, which is Mr. Hylton Lipkin, to leading us here before in Alba Wellness Valley. And that's why we have become very successful as a wellness, and then generating like our guests now coming mostly from overseas. Usually before, most of our guests is coming from Vietnam only, and then this time it's more variation, which is about 45% our guests are international guests, which is mainly from Australia. And then from that, it's bringing awareness more and more. And then the overseas guests are basically the wellness guests that typically that we're looking for. Well done for the World Wellness Weekend, and then bringing us a lot of guests. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Nyoman. Thank you, John. Thank you, Hylton. Thank you, Laura, who had to unfortunately leave. She had to go on to a meeting. I'm conscious of time. It is exactly 1 hour when we started and 55 minutes when we started recording. Is there any questions that you may have that you would like us to answer now? Joyce with Greater Palm Springs, or Rose with Mineral Wells, or Le Monastère? We're all ears. Joyce, the mic is yours.
I don't have any questions, but I definitely would love to see if I can get our partners to participate. A little unusual, we have 9 cities that we kind of oversee and work with. So, and it is still warm that weekend, so I'm thinking it might be an indoors kind of thing. We'll have to see. But I think we could probably get some folks to participate. I just have to see what that looks like and talk to our internal team. But I'm passionate about this as well. So to get the whole destination on board would be wonderful. And I like the idea that we don't have to do a whole slew of events, but we can kind of pick and choose. So all the events have to go, you want all the events to go live, or do they need to go live, or can
when you say live, you mean online?
Live on Facebook, or you want
they do not. No, we highly encourage venues to be, we highly encourage activities to be in person at the properties. So for instance, for you, that would be yoga studios, fitness clubs, spas, recreational outdoor activities, because Nyoman mentioned wellness from A to Z, wellness from Alba, which is the name of the property, to a zip line, which is uncommon for wellness. So it's all about creating what are the signature things, places, activities in Greater Palm Springs. Is it going to be in water with aqua tonic activities, aqua gym, or aqua relax? Is it going to be vibrational healing? Is there going to be a musician that can also guide and lead with a cello, with the handpan? Whatever can be done, there must be professional venues, dance schools, yoga studios, martial art dojos. So all of these can be independently activated, and then all of a sudden they become a wellness collective in Greater Palm Springs or Mineral Wells or any city for that matter. And they create a connection where they can say, and we've seen that many times over, where, for instance, if I'm the manager of the yoga studio and Hylton is the manager of the fitness and John has the spa, let's say, for instance, then I communicate to my network of clients, Hylton communicates to his and John to his, we do not exchange databases. It cannot be done now with RGPD, but we all communicate to say, I will be part. We will do an activity, and you can also see the program because something will happen on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, maybe just one activity per day, maybe 2 activities per day. And then it gives the opportunity for locals to rediscover the city or discover other parts of the 9 cities or 8 cities that you mentioned in Greater Palm Springs to say, oh, okay, we'll take our car and then we'll drive for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. And in a 50-kilometer radius, maybe a 30-mile radius, there's something worth noticing, visiting. Some restaurants can also on that weekend say, we'll present you with a recipe that you can do at home. But if you want to try it, well, then discover a wellness menu. Of course, this wellness menu will not be free because they have ingredients, they have service, they have staff, they have location, but maybe they can be, the recipe is for free and you can join and meet the chef who will be discussing with you maybe for half an hour on how to create a seasonal dish that is really balanced and great for health. This is free. Then stay on for lunch at a special price, special rate, so that you can discover maybe the menu that we always have. But maybe on that weekend, we have maybe a special starter or special entree, or maybe a special dessert without lactose, without nuts, without gluten, without, but the whole pleasure of a dessert that is a wellness dessert. And in this case,
Joyce,
and in this case, yes, go ahead.
No, so Joyce, the key thing is also is that you collaborate. So we collaborate with a number of other like-minded organizations, and then that also gives you more of a presence and the ability to organize more things. And the key thing is keep it simple. Don't make it too complicated. We've done it now for the 4th year, so we make it a little bit more complicated. But the reality is, just keep it simple. Don't go overboard, because once you go overboard, then it becomes too much logistics. Where if you fundamentally say, this is what we're doing, these 3 companies can do this together, or these 2 can do this together, then you can make lots of small things happen. And then it becomes, even organize a walk around if you've got a lake behind you, organize a walk around the lake with the dog. There's lots of small things, and give a silver coin donation or gold coin donation to a charity. There's so many small things that can be done, which ultimately, as we talked about the blood donation, they're small, easy things that they're not rocket science.
Perfect.
And I'm going to share right now, Joyce.
I'm going to go, everybody, because it is 1:30 and 12:30 in the morning. So good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day, and I'll see you, Joyce, hopefully in Palm Springs when we get to the Wellness Tourism Conference.
Wonderful. I'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. And thank you so much, my friend. And
see you.
Joyce and Rose in Mineral Wells, I have shared a link to a page on our website, which is lots of resources. I'm going to share my screen for a quick second so that you can see it up. And if you go to worldwellnessweekend.org, and you go on the menu to resources, this is what you'll find. You can download the logo, the fonts, social media graphic elements, the presentation to share with your partners, communication kit where anyone can download, again, the logo, some useful graphic elements, and also the official participate badge, a document with examples of activities from simple to spectacular, and best practices on how to increase your visibility and exposure before, during, and after World Wellness Weekend. There's also another document that I believe we have shared with Anne, and that she shared in the email. It's a 2-page document, why your city should participate, and you have lots of links to the resources page.
Okay, awesome.
So if you don't have this, you can either email me directly or ask Anne, and this is something that you can have very easily. because
Perfect.
with the resources page, there's lots of information. Some of these documents have 10 pages, really useful, no nonsense and waste of your time. But this is really the ballpark of it. This is the nuggets. This is what it all boils down to 2 pages. And we have also 2 videos available on YouTube that show in 1 minute the World Wellness Weekend, and also another one that shows the 20 million people that we reached last year. So Joyce, there's plenty of time. I would highly encourage venues to sign up before August 31st.
Okay.
For a very practical reason, is that when they sign up directly online on wellmap.org, sign up your venue. It's completely free. There will not be spam. They will not be in a database receiving advertising and promotions and everything. It's just for them to appear on the wellness map and to improve their search engine optimization. And when I say this, it usually takes 2 weeks for search engines to scroll websites to find new pages. So if they sign up before October 31st, there's a high chance that during World Wellness Weekend, they can appear in searches when people search wellness, Greater Palm Springs.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll do that. I think we actually have a team GPS, which is like our partner portal that we promote. So I'm thinking this is something we can push through there, and then folks would be able to sign up. So
absolutely. And
I have to sign off too. I'm so sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Before you sign off, just one last thing. When you will see in the examples from a lot of venues that will inspire all the partners that you have, so that they can really catch the attention of local television, local radio, and local newspaper, and be the next headline in Greater Palm Springs. Thank you so much, Joyce.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Rose Mineral Wells, would you like to ask a question or say if this was, inspiring for you, empowering, if it gives you ideas?
Yeah, the big thing is, like, we know we want to participate. We've got several partners here in town that are looking at doing some different workshops. Carol Elder, who's on the call with us, is a primary wellness asset here in Mineral Wells, and so she's always got some great ideas. I think a big part of this for us was just kind of getting some ideas of what the different activities and events might be, and I've been jotting all through. But yeah, I mean, we're excited to join. We just found out about it very recently, so we won't probably go super big with it, but we did Quell Crazy Wellness Day as a part of Global Wellness Day, and it was a huge success. So we're hoping to make the weekend a big deal too.
Well done, well done. Global Wellness Day is a fantastic event to participate in June. And I know that Alba Wellness and many other venues participating in World Wellness Weekend did participate last June, did promote it. And there's a lot of things that you can do also in September. I remember that Global Wellness Day makes it mandatory for all of the activities organized during Global Wellness Day to be completely free. No special offers, no special deals, nothing to be sold, completely free. This is not the case for World Wellness Weekend. We ask for one minimum activity free, and then you can tie in special offers, you can tie special products, treatment and products, you can buy in special membership tiers and programs to have people come back. So we definitely promote one fun-free activity in alignment with the United Nations Wellness for All. And then we highly encourage venues to take advantage of this amazing platform that we all contribute to promote other activities to enhance the experience of people. There's also a difference with Global Wellness Day. I believe they have paddles that they want people to print. I say yes, which is a great tool. We do not encourage anyone to print anything. We want to be as sustainable as possible, and we just use our hands with the Wellfie so that people can take photos. So if you have two hands, or sometimes people have only one hand and they're very active also, and then a friend comes along and adds, another V. So anyone can participate. And sometimes they do Wellfies with their legs, with, heads down and the legs up on a wall. And you have the two legs creating a W. So lots of things, no need to print, no need to have a a negative carbon footprint with paper printed, we can definitely do this just with our bare hands and a smile.
Well, we love it. We're excited to participate.
Thank you. And there's no mineral city. There's no hot spring city that would participate. You would be the first one. There are many venues in mineral cities or in hot springs or historical hot spring cities, as we call them, or thermal cities, as we call them in Europe. If you participate and if you have the sign off of your mayor or the visitors bureau, tourism office like you are, you can definitely be featured as the first ever city with mineral hot springs to be there on the map. So we would give a special push to you. And Carol, thank you for being a champion of wellness. Thank you for spearheading. We are looking for ambassadors in different cities to be the representative, the face, the smile, the voice. It's a bit late now to be the ambassador for this year because with all the preparation, it doesn't give you enough time. But if you are definitely rallying people around you, we would highly recognize you as a wellness leader, and we have a badge for that. Not that you need another badge of honor for things you do, but it's also nice sometimes to be recognized by your planetary event as a wellness leader in your city. So if you do rally people, if you do create some kind of a wellness collective with different dance schools, yoga studios, fitness, whatever people you know, to create something dynamic, just plant the seeds. And we would love for you to be the wellness leader 2023 in mineral wells for taking and furthering this message. And then we would highly consider you to be the wellness ambassador in mineral wells if you're interested.
Oh, definitely. I think we everyone here works really well, and we have a very big collaborative effort for wellness for our community and also for tourists as well. So
Hear, hear. Well, thank you so very much. I wish you well on your day. I wish you well on your night. Hylton and Nyoman is close to midnight, so thank you for staying up this late. Usually the first pillar of wellness is sleep and creativity. We had lots of creativity. Now you need more sleep. The second pillar is nutrition and immunity. The third one is movement and vitality. The fourth one is mindfulness and serenity. And the fifth one is sense of purpose and solidarity. And we definitely felt that a lot. Vitality, serenity, solidarity. Thank you all. I'm going to stop recording, and this is going to be shared with all of the members of the Wellness Tourism Association. Thank you, Anne. Thank you all for participating or for considering participating. May wellness be with you. Bye.
Thank you. You have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.